Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So just to repeat what I did repeat earlier in case you just came in, this webinar, which is Hajj with Al-Rajhi, Nusuk for newcomers, inshallah will cover the same exact content we covered in Thursday's webinar. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of a technical glitch. I wasn't able to record it properly, which is why we're going ahead and doing it again. But inshallah, this hair and everything, alhamdulillah, this gives the opportunity to people who weren't able to join us the first time around to join us this time. And then, of course, I went ahead and hit record this time, so it'll be recorded and uploaded for you guys to view later on as well. So, and if you've been around for a while and have heard or seen my YouTube or webinar series that were called Packages 360 or the Musafir ones, a lot of this content is similar or the same content, so you may not find it as helpful. Just to let you know, the point of this is to kind of do a comprehensive overview of all those topics for people who may be new to Al-Raji services, and basically giving you guys a brief introduction to the new folks. So this will take a little bit of time. Inshallah, I'm going to go ahead and go through everything step by step, one by one. And if you have any questions, please hold on to them. I'll probably be answering them through this presentation. And if you have them at the end, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer them at that time. So just the agenda for this meeting. We're going to talk briefly about Al-Raji and who they are, what they're up to, and my relationship with them. Then we'll go over your Nusuk checklist, right? At this point, packages are viewable in Nusuk. The selling date, while we don't have the exact date, is approaching quickly. So we're going to go over your Nusuk checklist and what you should have ready. And then inshallah, we'll do a deep dive into Al-Rajhi's USA packages, what they're offering, and how you can ensure you'll be going with our team from here in the USA. The next thing we'll cover is that custom flight option in Nusuk, which is powered by Al-Musafir, and any concerns related to that. And then inshallah, we'll actually, as part of that, go ahead and do a live demonstration of Musafir on Nusuk if I can get it to work today. And the final thing we'll go ahead and do is talk a little bit about the launch date. So Al-Rajhi is one of the 10 companies that is authorized by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah to provide Hajj packages on Nusuk. Now, they've been doing this work for over 60 years with domestic Hajjaj in Saudi Arabia. And since last year, since Nusuk was established, they've been inviting Hujjaj from the international community. Alhamdulillah, last year, all over the world, they brought in 7,000 Hajis, 1,400 of which were approximately from the United States. And they were ranked #1 in Hajj services by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. That's Mr. Bandar Al-Rajhi, the CEO, accepting the award at the Hajj and Umrah Expo earlier this year. So inshallah, we're committed to providing that, high level of service again to the Hajis this year. So if you've been around for a while or you've come to us via our YouTube videos, one of our main goals here is to help you guys navigate Nusuk. Of course, this is a relatively new program that the ministry established. This is basically the second year we have Nusuk. And so there's still a lot, there is a learning curve involved for everyone, right? So hopefully, inshallah, we can assist you in making sure your process of purchasing your Hajj package goes as smooth as possible. So this presentation is basically meant for people who have already gone ahead and done many of the major steps related to registering on Nusuk, right? So you should have already created your account, been verified, topped up your e-wallet, and now you're basically browsing packages and trying to figure out what you'd like to configure and add to your cart and finalize before you will be purchasing your package once selling starts, essentially. If you're still struggling with any of those previous steps, we've probably got a webinar for you. So if you take a look at our YouTube channel, we've got one on how to register on Nusuk. how to top up your e-wallet on Nusuk, and how to select a package, configure, and basically add to cart a package. So inshallah, all of these will have you covered. And if you go to the Nur Al-Fajr page, you'll be able to find them. So what does that Nusuk checklist look like, right? What should you do to be most prepared for when selling starts? These are the 4 things, right? Number 1 is have a package configured. It's really important that you have your first choice already set to go and in your cart so that when selling starts, you're able to just go ahead and check out. E-wallet topped up. So the amount of your package has already been topped up in your e-wallet. That would be the second step. You have a preferred package selected. So now Nusuk was supposed to give us the ability to heart or prefer up to 5 packages. Unfortunately, the feature is only allowing you to prefer 1 package at this time. So what we're recommending to people is that have your main desired package in the cart configured, and then your secondary option hearted or set as your preferred package, so that if for any reason your first package is not available, it sells out, you're able to go ahead and switch over to your preferred package really quickly. And actually, what I should mention here, and I should have mentioned in the beginning, is that we have a secondary webinar today, later on today, 4 p.m. New York time, which is approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes from now, which will go over selling specifically. So if you have any questions specifically about selling, I'd go ahead and encourage you to join that webinar. The final thing that we're asking people to do is basically, instead of Telegram, what it should say here is join our communication channels. We want to make sure that we're able to connect with you and that you know exactly when selling is going to start. As many of you are already aware, and I'm sure actually most of you or all of you are aware, the quota in the United States for Hajj is very low compared to the demand for Hajj packages. And so it's essential and very important that everyone know when selling starts and basically log in immediately in order to make sure that they're able to secure that Hajj package. So in order to kind of assist in this process, we've created a couple of different communication channels. Inshallah, towards the end of this presentation, I'll go ahead and have those on screen, but you can always directly message us on WhatsApp at the Nur Al-Fajr number if you don't want to stick around till the end here. But number 1, you can go ahead and join our WhatsApp group. Number 2, you can join us on Telegram. We're not actively using that for information. WhatsApp is the primary place. The Telegram is just going to be there so we can send out a sound alert when packages go live for selling. And then the third thing that we've done is many of our Hujjaj were asking for a automated call. So basically, a robocall that will be sent out to your phone number as soon as packages go live. So if you're interested in that, inshallah, the link's already been put in the WhatsApp group, but I'll go ahead and repost it one more time tonight so that you can register to get that automated phone call from us once selling starts. Okay, so now as far as what packages Al-Rajhi offers. So I know I'll get a lot of questions, and I actually already see one question about the fact that there are other Al-Rajhi packages that are offered. What we're going to be focusing on here are the packages that are offered from America. So those are all the packages that have the American flag on them, right? Now, if you see a different country's flag or a different city listed, those packages are covered by a different marketing partner based in one of those countries. So for Al-Rajhi specifically as a service provider, they have 3 main international partners. One is myself based here in the United States. Then I have my equal in the United Kingdom and in France. So if you're looking at any of those packages, and if this goes on YouTube, and I know a lot of people in the international community see these as well. If you're looking for UK packages, you can go ahead and look at the ones with the British flag on them. And then if you're looking at any of the European packages, just be aware that their offices are actually based out of France. And so the French company is the one who is going to be on the ground as your tour guides and scholars throughout your Hajj experience, inshallah. So moving on. These are the packages that Al-Rajhi is offering here in the United States, which also include flights out of 4 main gateway cities. We have flights from Chicago's ORD Airport, Washington, D.C.'s IAD Airport, New York's JFK Airport, and Los Angeles's LAX Airport. If you are not located in one of these four cities, your options would be to, inshallah, join us at one of the group gateways via a domestic flight from your home city, or you could try to book through Musafir a flight directly from your home city and meet us in the kingdom, whether your package starts Medina first or Mecca first. Whichever city you land in, inshallah, our team will meet you at the airport and be able to guide you from there. So, I know there's a lot of information over here. I'm going to leave it on the screen for a couple minutes and go through some of the most important parts of it. But this is available in our WhatsApp group. You can always message us if you need the direct link for this. And I'll go ahead and repost this a PDF file in the WhatsApp group as well, so people have it. But basically, we've got three main programs here. We've got line 1, line 2, and then shifting line 1. Everything that you see these breakdowns in them is just because of what flight availability looks like. The actual differences between these three, that's the only difference where they're flying out of, basically. Line 1, luxury line 1 is our Medina first package. So you'll go to Medina first, land in, if you're going with the group flight, you'll actually land in Medina. And then from there, you'll go to Mecca for Hajj, inshallah, and then fly back from Jeddah after Hajj. The first option will give you flights from DC or Chicago. The second option will give you flights from New York. And then if you need to fly from a different city or have to do an international option or want to extend your stay for any reason, any of those options, you would go with 3 luxury line 1 and book a custom flight. Same thing with line 2. If you want to stay with the group, you'll have this option of going via DC or New York, or you could book a customized flight. And the shift, this one is Mecca first. So you basically go to Mecca, do Hajj, and then inshallah, after Hajj, go to Medina. And then you've got the shifting line 1. This is a package where basically you split your time between 2 hotels in Mecca, one that's very close to the Haram, one that's in an area called Azizia. Inshallah, later on in the presentation, I'll go into a little bit more detail about what that looks like. But with this package, you have the option to fly with the group from either Los Angeles, New York, or Chicago, or book a custom flight through Musafir. Now, all the pricing you're seeing over here, for the ones that have flights next to them, but with us, this is going to be the total, including the flights. So this price is the final price that's going to be in your cart, not the price you're going to see on the first page of Nusuk. Because as I'm sure most of you know at this point, Nusuk basically breaks up the costs. First, they give you the cost of the Hajj package, then you add the hotel, then you add the flight, then you check out. So instead of giving that to you, we found it to be more helpful to just give you the final prices that you'll see in your cart, inshallah. As far as Musafir goes, because it's a custom flight, this is basically the cost of just the package without a flight included. You'd have to go ahead and choose your flight through Musafir and get the cost of that after choosing the custom flight. And final note on this page, 2 things actually. Number 1, keep in mind the Saudi Riyal amount is the exact amount you'll see in Nusuk. We just went ahead and converted it into dollars based on a 3.75 conversion rate to make it a little bit easier to comprehend the information, right? At least I have that issue where when it's written in Saudi Riyal, I really don't understand what I'm doing. So I just put everything into dollars to kind of give you a rough idea, but keep in mind, depending on any fees that your credit card charges you and what the conversion rate is given to you, the exact dollar amount may look different for you. And last thing is, when you have this PDF version, you can actually click on these links and it'll take you to the exact package, so you don't have to go digging through all of Nusuk. But you do have to be logged into Nusuk first. So log into Nusuk, then come back, click on this package, and inshallah, you'll be able to go directly to the package. Okay, so the main question people ask about, the shifting packages, what's the difference between shifting and non-shifting? For us, most of our packages are non-shifting, so you're sticking in Makkah Towers right by the Haram. But if you choose the shifting option, the main thing is you're splitting your time between 2 hotels. One of them will be near Haram, but the one where you'll have your longer stay is the one that's in Azizia, which is one of the neighborhoods of Makkah. So hotel proximity, that's one of the main things that we focus on. I know a lot of people ask, why is it, Noor, that all the packages you're supporting are luxury? I promise you, brothers and sisters, it doesn't have to do with the fact that I enjoy staying in opulent places. It's more about the fact that I want hotels that are very, very convenient for the Hajj in terms of getting to Masjid al Haram, right? Getting to the Haram. And if you want a hotel that is walking distance from the Haram and very convenient, you're looking at 5-star hotels. All of them are 5-star. There is no 4-star option or below. That's walking distance or short walking distance from the haram, which is why all of our packages ended up being in that luxury category. And inshallah, I'll show you in the map a little bit just how much, even within zone A, right, what the differences can look like. So that's the Kaaba, the haram right there. That's the area that's considered zone A, where most of our hotels are located. And then this is where the monastic days are spent, right? That's Jamarat, that's Wasim camp, and this area right here in D, where I'm hovering the mouse, is what we would call the neighborhood of Azizia. So this is just a satellite bird's eye view of the Haram area to give you an idea of what's going on, right? There is the masjid. This is the main entrance of the masjid, right? If you need to get to the mataf, which is this main courtyard over here, you would need to go ahead and come from this entrance right over here. Let me take a look here. Okay, so now there's 4 areas around the haram, right? The main one, and the one, if you've ever been for Umrah, you may be the most familiar with, is the clock tower complex, right? That's over here. You can't miss the clock tower. It's massive. And then there you have all these surrounding hotels near it. These are all considered to be the most convenient option. You're basically, walking, you're right in front of the main entrance. It's very easy to walk to the haram from these. And these hotels are actually considered, I usually don't mention this, but just to mention it, a part of the haram. So most of these hotels have musallas in them, and technically, if you're praying in them with the group, you are considered part of the haram. Now, to the right side of this, you'll have Ajid, or the neighborhood of Ajid. The hotels on this side are considered walking distance as well, but it's a little bit of a longer walk. And the most important thing is that this is an uphill walk. So one of the things to remember, brothers and sisters, is that Makkah is a mountainous area. And so there's a lot of uphill, downhill walking you have to consider. In this case, Ajyad, and we'll talk about it later, but Jabal Kaaba and parts of Jabal Umar are all uphill compared to the Haram, which is located in a valley. So from your hotel in Ajyad, you're walking nice and easy downhill, but if you were going back up, you'd have to go back uphill. Now on this side, you have Jabal Umar, and Jabal Umar is actually split into 2, right? By this road, you've got some hotels on the front end and some on the back end. The hotels here right in the front, very convenient, similar to Clock Tower. You'll be able to get to the Haram easily. The hotels back here, some of them get pretty far, right? Even though it's zone A, not all of zone A is the same. Some of the hotels in this line here, you'll have an escalator or a bridge in order to go ahead and cross over that road and walk to the Haram. But you're looking at a little bit of a longer walk, 15 to 20 minutes, maybe longer when we're talking about the rush of Hajj time. And then you've got Address and Hilton Makkah, these hotels up here, which all offer shuttles because of the fact that they're quite a bit of a distance away from the Haram. And while it is possible to walk it's not necessarily an easy walk. The final area that you would consider walking distance from Haram is Jabal Al-Kaaba. And so you can see over here, you have Anjum Hotel, Shaza, Sheraton, they're all on this side. This is also, if you're looking to get into the extension, it's not far at all. As you can notice, the actual complex of Masjid al-Haram is massive at this point. So getting into the extension for your prayers isn't necessarily difficult, but keep in mind, if you're trying to go to the main mataf area, I was here in Ramadan this past year, last year, and it can take a solid 30 plus minutes to walk to the main mataf area from here. And again, this is uphill. So again, you're looking at quite a bit of a hike up back to your hotel once you're done with your prayers or with your umrah. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea of how it looks from a rough perspective, give you the boundaries of the different areas. As far as the hotels that we're working with, you'll see Makkah Towers right here. It's right next to the clock tower, a very convenient location. I definitely encourage you guys to look it up on your own as well. Um, we've got some videos that we've put up on our Instagram to show you guys just the proximity as well. From this hotel to the Haram. And then the other hotel that we have for our shifting package is Swiss Makkah, which is actually located within the clock tower complex. Okay, to give you a little bit of a bigger picture, this is including the neighborhood of Azizia. That's where our shifting packages stay at Rifa Hotel. And as you can notice, you've got right there cut off Jamarat Aqabat. Basically, this is very close to Jamarat, where you do your stoning as part of your Hajj rights. You know, Azizia as a neighborhood, that's what it's known for, being close to the Jamarat area. But as you'll notice, it is further away from the Haram area. So something to keep in mind when you're going for a shifting package is that you will have to take a shuttle to get to Haram in the days that excuse me, in the days that you're staying in Azizia. So one of the things that I like to tell people, you know, is that keep in mind and have that expectation going in that there's a shuttle offered to you, and inshallah, the first couple days you're there, you shouldn't have too much trouble being able to make that commute back and forth. But as you get closer to the days of Hajj, it's going to get busier. Roads near the Haram are blocked by the authorities. And so even if the shuttle wants, you know, the shuttle is always there offered by the hotel, but they're not able to take you all the way to the Haram because of the road blockages. So what we try to tell people is, you know, keep in mind the day or two before Hajj starts, if you're in Azizia, plan on staying in the hotel. It's really important to, of course, be well rested before you actually start the physical um, uh, parts of Hajj. You know, the actual days of Hajj are very physically challenging. You know, there's a lot of endurance needed. So it's important to stay well rested and, you know, take the time to listen to the lectures from the scholars, take the time to rest. Trying to get to the Haram the day before we all go for Hajj, inshallah, to Mina, it is going to be difficult. And the other thing is, you know, even with the daily prayers, you if you're staying in Azizia, I would plan to group my prayers together, like maybe go with Asr prayer for Asr Salah to the Haram and then stay there till Isha and then come back. It will be very difficult for you to try to go back and forth on the shuttle for each and every single prayer. And then, you know, we'll talk about it a little bit, but inshallah, with those shifting packages, you do get a couple of nights in Swiss at the end, which is why we go ahead and, you know, try to keep you in a hotel that's very close towards the end. So you get a couple of days, including actually Jummah prayer, alhamdulillah, at a very convenient walk from your hotel to the masjid. Okay, so this is just another quick look at Makkah, including where you're staying in, sorry, this is where Mina is, right? This is Jamarat, where you do your stoning. It's not labeled here, but this is actually where Muzdalifah is, where you're going to spend one of your nights. And then the final area, you know, that you will be visiting as part of your Hajj days will be Arafat. Inshallah, we'll be spending the 9th of Zulhijjah here. So as far as transportation goes between all these locations, inshallah, you will have the buses provided by Al-Rajhi. I know sometimes you get these questions about whether it will be public buses or private buses. So no, this is private transportation provided by Al-Rajhi that will take you from the Mina camps to Muzdalifah and Arafat as the days of Hajj will require. Okay, room occupancy. This is an important one. So as far as Al-Raji packages, and honestly, I've looked around to see if this was offered by any of the providers. I haven't seen a single provider with the single bed option. So I'll go ahead and just, you know, X that out. I wouldn't even expect to see that. Now, what we do have for most service providers, and definitely here at Al-Raji, is the other three options, which is double, triple, and quad. And actually, I'm noticing most of them are actually offering either double or quad, but alhamdulillah, we have this triple option as well. So what does this mean? It basically means that when you're purchasing your package, you're purchasing a bed in a room, right? And you can choose to purchase a bed in a quad room, a triple room, or a double room. In a quad room, it'll be you and three other people of the same gender, or in a triple room, it'll be you and two other people. And then in a double room, it'll be you and one other person. Now, if you are not going by yourself and you're going as a family, if you choose the same occupancy as the number of people in your party, Al-Rajhi will go ahead and keep you guys together. So what do I mean by this? If you are a couple, if you choose the double bed option, we'll go ahead and keep you guys together in a room, the double room option for both people, right? If you are a couple, but you choose the quad occupancy, just keep in mind you won't be in a room together. The husband will be in one room with three other brothers, and the wife will be in another room with three other sisters. Same thing, if you're a family of, say, three, you can choose the triple option, will keep you together. If you choose a quad option, you will not be able to stay together. The family members who are male, like say it's two males and a woman, the two men will be in a room together with two other men, and then the woman would be in a different room with three other women. So I hope that makes sense and makes that process of choosing a room a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, Mina camps. So for Nusuk, there's two camps basically. There's Majar al-Qabsh and there's Al-Muasim. As far as Al-Rajhi's packages go, all of our packages are based in Al-Muasim. The main difference between Al-Muasim and Majar al-Qabsh is the distance from Jamarat, right? Now, all of this area is considered Mina. Jamarat is within Mina. That's why we cannot offer any sort of vehicle transportation. The only option in the camps is basically to walk. If you are in the position where you have a disability or you need to be in a wheelchair for whichever reason, you would be provided a wheelchair. If you have a member of your family who can push you, they will be able to do so. If you needed to hire additional assistance, we can help you do that. But there is no option for, for a car to take you, right? So I just want to make sure that that's clear. And now Majal al-Kabsh is closer to Jamarat. Al-Muasim is further from Jamarat. That's the main difference between these two camps. As far as why we have all of our packages in Al-Muasim, which is one of the other questions I get asked about a lot, the main reason why is the quota or the occupancy of these camps, right? Al-Muasim has a capacity of 30,000. Majal al-Kabsh has a capacity of 5,000. So the chances of getting a package in Majal al-Kabsh is very, very slim compared to in Al-Muasim. The way it basically works is there may be like 15,000 packages in Nusuk right now with Majal al-Kabsh listed. But the first 5,000 who pick it up will be able to go ahead and get that option. Everyone else will not be able to pick up that package then. So in order to make sure our people can go ahead and choose our packages, we keep them all based in Al-Muasim. It's easier, inshallah, to get your Hajj package. And really, you're being affected for 3 days, which is the 3 days that you're going for Jamarat. The most difficult of those days is honestly the day you come back from Muzdalifah. After that, it does get smoother, inshallah. As far as distances go, because people do ask this question, I've done this walk last year and in other years too, but specifically from the Al-Raji camps, I did it last year. I would say if you're relatively young, you could definitely do it in 30-35 minutes. When I went with the group, I took about a group of 15-20 women with me. It took us closer to 45 minutes. So it really depends on your walking pace and if you're going with the group or if you're just deciding to do it on your own. So hopefully that information helps you guys. Okay, transportation between these cities. So all of our packages do include a stay in Medina. All of them basically have 3 nights. Some of them, most of our packages are actually Medina first, but we do have some Makkah first where you go to Hajj after, Medina after Hajj. Now, these are the 4 options that are usually available, which is the shuttle bus, the private car services, a high-speed train, and an airplane. So with the Haramain railway route, just keep in mind you would be in your hotel. Say, for example, you're at Valley Al Medina. We would have to put you on a bus from the hotel to the train station in Medina, which is about 20 minutes away from Masjid Al Nabwi area or from the hotel area. Then you go ahead and you take the train. You actually pass the miqat on the train, so you will not be able to go to the miqat. Instead, you'll make your get into your ihram at the hotel and make your intention on your train ride. Once you arrive at the Makkah train station, you would have to take another bus to the hotel near the haram, right? The other thing to keep in mind is your luggage is restricted, so that's something to keep in mind. Airplane route, same thing, right? From city to city, you would have to get to the airport and then of course get there early because you have to get there at least 90 minutes before the flight, right? Take the flight, and then the closest you can get to Makkah is Jeddah Airport, which is still a 45-minute drive from Makkah, and then that's how you'd get to your hotel. Shuttle bus. You're basically going to leave from your hotel, sit on the bus, and be dropped up in front of your other hotel, right, in the other city. So because the reason why I go through this whole entire process is to explain why we go ahead and do the shuttle bus option. We actually do a combo, I should say, of shuttle bus and planes in order to go ahead and transport you guys between cities. So with all of our packages, if you're buying the flights that we've chosen or booked for you guys, the group flights from LA, DC, New York, Chicago, you're going to land in the city where your package starts and you're going to depart from the city where your package ends. So say you're going for a Medina first option, your final flight will land you in Medina. And that way you don't have to go to Jeddah airport and then take a bus or some other form of transportation to Medina. And then when you have to go from Medina to Makkah, you'll go ahead and go on the coach bus. There's plenty of reasons why we do this. Mainly, it's just less tedious. Between all these different steps, it ends up being around the same time frame. And it's just more work where you're getting on and off buses. We have to make sure the group stays together. No one's getting left behind. And so at least with the coach bus, we're only having to do this process twice. Once when you get on the bus, we have to make sure you guys are all there, and then the second time is when we stop at the rest stop instead of having to go through this process like 10 different times. The other thing is people tend to have more luggage, right? Inshallah, your luggage will stay with you. If we do a train, we have to have your luggage go by road and you go on the train, which is another one of the reasons why we avoid this option. And then the final thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that you don't get to stop at the miqat. Now, it's not a requirement to stop at the miqat, but a lot of people, especially when it's their first time, like to be able to go there, set their intention, pray their 2 rak'ah of nafil before heading on to Makkah for Hajj, for their Umrah. And so with the train option, you have to forego this, but alhamdulillah, with the bus option, we can go ahead and have you stop there as well. Okay. So I'm going to spend a little less time going over the packages since I've pretty much talked about most of the different aspects of them, right? But basically, we have 3 main package types. The first one, luxury line 1, is Medina first and non-shifting. The second option is Makkah first and non-shifting. You're staying at the same exact hotels, Valley Al Medina in Medina and Makkah Towers in Makkah. Just the differences will be in what is your starting date and ending date because of where you go first. As far as our shifting package goes, in Medina, you'll be staying at the same hotel as everyone else. In Makkah, your time is split between a hotel in Azizia, which is that neighborhood I mentioned earlier, and Swiss Hotel Makkah near the Haram in that clock tower complex. So this one is actually a little bit of a longer package because you get those extra days at the end, inshallah, in front of the haram. So as far as what you get across all of these, you will have our team the whole time. I'm sure many of you at this point have been coming to our webinars, have an idea of how we like to communicate, inshallah. I myself, my operations team, my tour guides, and the scholars that we're bringing with us will be with you every step of the way. We've put quite a bit of effort into not only finding just all of our scholars of course speak English and have a diverse background in terms of school of thought, but also are dual language speakers who speak Arabic as a secondary language or Urdu or Bangla in order to go ahead and make sure we can accommodate and best serve all of our Hajjaj. So inshallah, we'll be there every step of the way. We'll have plenty of webinars beforehand to prepare you both for the logistics and the religious aspects of Hajj. And we'll, of course, we'll be there on the ground as well to answer questions throughout the whole experience. Your transportation throughout is covered as well, regardless of whether you do a group flight or if you choose that option to do a custom flight from your city. Inshallah, we're in charge of your transport. So we'll come pick you up from wherever you need to be picked up from as part of your package. And of course, one of the questions we get asked about a lot is what does the food situation on the ground look like? Keep in mind, you're included with your packages are a breakfast and dinner buffet at your hotel. Now, these buffets go on for a couple of hours a day. So for most people, this seems to be sufficient. But if you wanted to do lunch during the day, that would be an additional expense you'd have to consider. To be honest, I haven't heard that complaint ever actually. Whether when I take Ramadan, like Hajj groups or Umrah groups, I've never had that complaint about lunch. So this is our hotel in Medina. It's Valley Al Medina, very close to the Haram, on the front side of the masjid. So the side of the green dome, and in front of Jannat al-Baqi, which is the cemetery where many of the Sahaba are buried. This actually is part of the new construction area where they've been going ahead and taking down the old buildings and building new hotels. And so this hotel was just opened up this past fall. So brand new, nice and clean, and very convenient walking distance from the masjid. Makkah Towers, if you've been to Saudi before, if you've ever been for Umrah before, you have seen Makkah Towers for sure. It's right there in the heart of the Haram area. And now, because I get this question, we're actually on the side of buildings that are on the outside. So not only can you go from the mall area and the inside, one of the benefits I like about Tower 6 is that you will have a direct elevator that will take you down into the lobby, and you can come out from the side over here. So you're basically walking right out into the outer courtyard of the masjid. Okay. Again, this hotel too, by the way, was renovated during COVID time, like 2021, as part of a rebranding for the hotel. So alhamdulillah, the rooms are nice and spacious, number one, and number two, clean. Okay, Al-Rafa Al-Azizia, this is the hotel for our shifting packages located in Azizia. And as you can see on the map here, they are very close to Jamarat, where you'll be doing your stoning as part of your religious rites. And we'll talk about, inshallah, of course, in more detail, what the days of Hajj look like from a logistical perspective as we get closer to Hajj. But one of the things that that people like about staying in Azizia is that they don't have to go back to the Mina tents if they don't want to, and they can go ahead and just walk to the hotel. This is a downhill walk. I don't know if you can tell via this road that it's going downhill. But inshallah, it's a pretty easy walk, about 15 to 20 minutes, depending at your pace, and you'll be able to get to your hotel. Now, regardless of whether you're staying at the Makkah Towers in a non-shifting package or Azizia with a shifting package, you will have access to your room throughout the days of Hajj. So it's very easy to go ahead and spend your daytime, back at your hotel room if you wanted to shower, rest, do whatever in the privacy of your room before going back to Mina at night, to as part of your obligations for Hajj. So let's go ahead and, sorry about that. The final hotel we'll be looking at is Swiss Makkah. To be honest, I don't go into too much detail about this because I feel like the clock towers are pretty well known. So this is part of the clock tower complex, and it actually has two exits. One is through the main mall area, but it also actually has its own exit from the Ajid side. So alhamdulillah, you'll have plenty of options to get to the Haram, and again, it's very close. And for the folks who are in the shifting package, inshallah, you'll be shifting over to this hotel on a Thursday night. So the good thing is on the 21st, Friday morning, inshallah, it'll be very easy for you to get there to the Haram for Jummah prayer. Okay, so I've talked quite a bit about the packages. I won't go into too much more details in terms of itineraries and dates. Inshallah, all these will be available as a PDF to you They've already been sent out in the WhatsApp group a couple times, but I'll go ahead and repost them again. Or you can always directly message us if you want us to send it to you directly on WhatsApp or through email. But I wanted to go ahead and share how this looks in Nusuk, right? So this is exactly how this package will be viewable. And as you can see, it's got that US flag on there because this is managed by our team, which is an American-based team. And many of these also offer flights from the US. So what you'll notice is most of our packages actually have group flights available. So that one had Chicago and DC, and then we've got this one with New York City. Now, what we did do, because we were getting a lot of requests from people who are located in Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, or they have to drop their kids off to a different country because before they come for Hajj, or it's summertime, people want to go on vacation, they want to be able to do an international extension. So for all these sorts of scenarios, what we had done was left some of our packages, like it's the same package, right? It's Medina first, same hotels and everything, but with some of them, those seats, we instead of buying flights, we left it open so that you can purchase a flight via Musafir, which is that custom flight option in Nusuk. So this is the option suggested for those people. If you want to do Medina first, you can choose to do a customized flight via 3 Luxury Line 1, right? Now, keep in mind, the pricing for these ones are not all inclusive because you have to choose your flight via Musafir. I didn't mention it before, but this is actually also a good option for those who are trying to upgrade to business class. Unfortunately, those tickets with the group based out of those 4 cities that have been mentioned do not have the option to have any sort of changes made to them, right? So you can't upgrade those to business class, or if you wanted to extend your stay, for example, you wouldn't be able to extend your stay using those. Now, before the last couple of days, I was really hesitant in sending people towards these customized flights because of the fact that Musafir has a lot of things to keep in mind. And inshallah, I will still go ahead and go over all the different things you should keep in mind with Musafir. But alhamdulillah, what I've noticed in the last 2-3 days is that it has been working a lot better. So if you have a scenario where you need to go ahead and use Musafir, I do think it's a lot more feasible today than it was maybe a couple of days ago or a week ago. So I'm just going to basically skip over. So just to show you, this is basically for all of ours. You'll have the name, the code of the package, and then you'll have the flag. Okay, so the last thing, let's jump into Musafir, right? So Musafir is basically that custom flight option you're seeing in Nusuk. Okay. Sorry, brothers and sisters. I was just trying to, there was a lot of questions popping up. Inshallah, I will get to all of your questions towards the end of this presentation. So Al-Musafir is Nusuk's approved external ticketing system that's designed for you to purchase your own customized flight, right? So scenarios for which this will help. If you're flying from a city other than the 4, if you live in a city other than New York, DC, Chicago, or LA, you can use this option to join us, inshallah. So you could book a flight potentially from Dallas or Houston or Atlanta or wherever you are in the country and join us. You wouldn't have the tour guide with you because you're not in a group flight. But once you land in Medina or Mecca, depending on your package, we will be with you every step of the way. So inshallah, you'll still have our support. You'll still have a tour guide assigned to you who will check in with you before the days of Hajj, before you ever come to Saudi Arabia. But just keep in mind, that's the main difference between taking a group flight and a non-group flight, is that you don't have the guide with you you're not going as a group. Once you land, inshallah, we'll be there with you every step of the way. So one option is for the people who need to go ahead and fly from their own city. The other option is, say you want to go ahead and extend your package. This is the first time you're going for Hajj, or you for whatever reason would like to spend more time. You can go ahead and potentially choose a custom flight in Musafir and come back a couple of days later. I've gotten that question quite a bit. Our package that's most aligned with that sort of option would be the shifting package. At the end there, you could go ahead and add a couple of days. Of course, any sort of extension you do, the cost of the hotel is would be on you, but because people have asked about it, I just wanted to go ahead and mention it. You can all contact our office and we can kind of walk you through what options you may have on the ground. The third thing is, I've spoken to so many people who are parents who need to drop the kids off to a different city or country. This would be a good option for you guys. And then finally, if you're trying to go to an international destination or do business class, this would be a good option for you guys as well. Okay, so some of the things to keep in mind with Al-Musafir. Right now, you still do not have the option to do multi-city. You can only do a round-trip flight. So say, for example, you are going from Dallas, or you're going from Amman, or you're going from Karachi. In any of these cases, you would have to do your home city to either Jeddah or to Medina. You won't be able to do, say, for example, Amman to Medina and then Jeddah to Amman. We've been told that this option is supposed to be added on before selling starts, but like I say, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Hopefully they go ahead and add that option, but in case they don't, we are planning our preparations and our operations based on if you have to do round trip. So what we're telling folks who are going for Musafir is please go ahead and choose the city that you're going to start your package in. So if you want to do a Medina first package, choose to land in Medina. After your stay in Mecca, we will go ahead and make sure we get you back to Medina for your flight back. And then for the people who are choosing a Mecca first package, go ahead and choose Jeddah as your destination. And inshallah, after you stay in Medina, we'll make sure we get you back to Jeddah for your flight back. Okay, so something to also keep in mind is the dates that you can use. Make sure your dates align with the rules that Nusuk and the ministry have in place. You don't want a situation where you're not landing on the correct date and you don't get entry into the country. So, and I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, just for the people who may be new, inshallah, you don't need to raise your hand right now. At the end of the presentation, I'll go ahead and answer any questions. So just to give you guys a heads up, I see them. I just want to go ahead and make sure I get through the presentation, let people who don't have questions go, and then I can go ahead and answer your questions. Okay. So as far as when you can enter, the earliest you can enter is the 7th. The latest you can enter is the 10th for most flights. Saudi Airlines or like any other Saudi company, you do have the option to stay a little bit, have a little bit of extended time frame. You can go till the 12th, but I would still recommend, honestly, with all of our packages, it makes sense to come by the 10th. And you can exit as early as the 20th, which is why some of our packages, the earliest you'll see, they come out on the 20th, and then the latest is till the 21st of July, but none of our packages go that long. So yep, just be aware of those when you are booking. So keep in mind that with this Musafir option, you will not know the final cost of your flight until selling starts and you're basically booking your flight. Right now, you will get a rough idea. What I've been telling people is mentally be prepared for a price variance of 15 to 20% when you go through this process. So let's go ahead here. Okay. So the things we want to make sure you consider, and again, brothers and sisters, if you're trying to do a custom flight, we really, really encourage you to get in contact with our team via WhatsApp so that we can guide you through this process and make sure you're choosing a flight that doesn't have any issues in terms of immigration and entering the country, and also maximizes your time with our packages, and that we can basically help make sure you're choosing the best possible option. So the first thing you want to consider is the departure date from the US versus the arrival date in Saudi, right? When we are traveling from the United States, due to the long flight time and the long time difference, we basically lose a day or up to 2 days in traveling time. So it's really important you make sure that if your package is starting on the 7th, you may need to leave on the 6th, or if you're on the West Coast, potentially the 5th, in order to make it to the kingdom by the 7th. So something to keep in mind. The length of the layover in any layover city, I know it says 2.5 here, brothers and sisters. Honestly, I really, really, really recommend going for nothing less than 3 hours. And even with this, what I would say is, keep in mind with those layovers, I know some of them in Musafir are much longer than that. You rather end up with an 8 hour layover than do a 1.5 or 2 hour layover and then miss your flight and miss your Hajj. So it's really, really important to keep that in mind. So the third thing is the arrival time and city in Saudi, right? So keep in mind the way hotel check-in works in Saudi Arabia is usually checkout time is around Zohar prayer around 12 o'clock, and check-in time normal season is around 4 o'clock. Now, during high season, like Hajj time, Ramadan time, this can easily get pushed as late as 6, even sometimes later than that. Mostly because during Hajj, you've got these big groups that have to check out at the same time around Zohar time, and then they have to go and clean all those rooms before they can give us the keys. So it's very important to keep in mind that if you're flying in, say on the 7th, you're not getting your hotel till the 7th evening, right? 6 o'clock, maybe later. So if you're coming on a 3 a.m. flight on the 7th, you will go like 12, 15 hours without a room. In that case, it may make more sense to come in at like 3 o'clock or 2 a.m. on the 8th because your check-in would have happened, and inshallah, you'll be able to go directly to your hotel room and relax and sleep. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to do a flight earlier than check-in time, you totally can. Just keep in mind you'll only be able to drop your luggage off at the hotel. You could hang around the hotel lobby or go spend that time doing something else, but you won't have your room until the aforementioned time. And the final thing is, regardless of where you land, once you're at the airport, inshallah, Raji will be taking over your transportation. So no worries as far as how you will move around and get to the right city. Okay. If you're doing that option where you have to travel to, say, Amman or Saudi Arabia, or sorry, or Karachi, like Pakistan or Jordan or wherever, the way we're recommending you book your trip is that the part that you book in Nusuk is from your international location to Saudi Arabia and round trip. And then any flight you need from the US to that country on your own outside of the system, right? So just to clarify, say you're trying to go to Jordan, you're trying to go to Amman, you would book in Nusuk, Amman to Medina or Amman to Jeddah round trip, and then you would go ahead and book your trip from New York to Amman round trip on your own outside of the portal. What we've been recommending is that you go ahead and book your package to your arrival city. So if it's your Medina first, come to Medina, inshallah. And if you're Makkah first, fly to Jeddah, inshallah. And most of these countries do have flights to both of those locations. Okay. Okay, so people who want to travel business class, please don't book the group flights. Even if you're flying out of New York, for example, we won't be able to upgrade you to a business class ticket. Upgrade your ticket to business class. You would have to use the option available over here through Musafir. Okay, so selling date, I know that that's going to be the most asked about question. What I'm actually going to do is, hold on. Actually, you know what? Because we're doing another seminar at 4 o'clock where I basically am dedicating the time to go over all the different options in Musafir, I'm going to go, sorry, in Nusuk, I'm going to go ahead and um, put a pin in going to Nusuk right now, just because I want to be aware of time. I know we've already taken an hour to go through this presentation. So what we're going to do is just talk a little bit about selling date. I'll talk to you a little bit about what you can expect in that next webinar. And then inshallah, I'll try to address the questions that we have in the Q&A. So selling date, the honest answer is no one knows, right? Whether that be the service providers, whether that be their international partners like myself, no one's been given a specific date by the ministry. We knew the goal was really to try to finish this and get it up, start the selling before Ramadan. And that's clearly not happening because we know at this point, this weekend, the selling is not going to start. So today and tomorrow, by the way, brothers and sisters, you can focus on your preparation for Ramadan and on, inshallah, getting everything ready for that. You won't have selling start this weekend. Now, as far as when it's going to start, the communication from the ministry is as soon as we can get the website um, to the point where the major bugs are taken care of. So, again, we're hoping it happens very soon. It's possible it could happen in this coming week. What all the service providers have been told by the ministry is that we will let you know 24 hours, at a minimum 24 hours before we're ready to go live, that we're ready to go live. So again, if inshallah, if you're in our WhatsApp group and you're in our Telegram group, you will have that information provided to you. At the same time, once they give us that heads up that it's going to start in 24 hours, we on our end will inshallah go ahead and be checking Nusuk nonstop to make sure we know the second it starts, and we can inform you guys as well. So to try to take it a little bit of the guesswork out for you guys. So excuse me, I went ahead and linked our WhatsApp and Telegram on there so you can take a look. And you also actually have the phone number to the office. I encourage you to reach out to us via WhatsApp. It's the quickest way. If you call the number directly, a lot of times I'm in webinars and answering questions like this, so I'm not able to answer. But the WhatsApp, there's a whole customer service team answering those questions. So inshallah, they're able to get back to you a lot quicker. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and actually stop the recording first.